Well, good morning and greetings, business communication students. This is week number 2 in our 14-week course in business communications, Business 88 here at Chaffey College. And this week, you're going to begin to look at business presentations. Now, this whole week is devoted to that. The chapter is devoted to that. You're also going to be starting an assignment that we call your individual presentation assignment. And this is where you're going to be creating a PowerPoint presentation. You're going to be recording yourself giving the presentation and then uploading that to Canvas. And so it's an important assignment that you get started in business presentations is foundational to that. So we're jumping ahead in our book from chapter 1 now to chapter 12. And we're also going to cover chapter 11 next week. So we're going to kind of go into the end of the book to cover some, I think, very important content, especially as you're preparing these presentations that we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. I'm going to go ahead and share our homepage in Canvas. So here it is. And by the way, this is week number 2, so hopefully your first week was good. It wasn't too painful, that you were able to navigate everything and get all your assignments done. It was a kind of a light week because I figure you need to get yourself acquainted, you need to register for the book, things like that. Now this week we're going to have a little bit more work, so we'll be looking at what that is. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here and select module number 1. We're going to be in module number 1 until March 8th, so we have about a month. So here was last week. You did your SLO pretest. You also did your mandatory check-in assignment, and then you did your first quiz. It was a pretty light week. As we move into week number 2, then we're going to be getting into individual presentation assignment as well as your first discussion post. And you have the rest of this module to complete both of these, but there are kind of larger assignments. This individual presentation assignment that you see right here is 100 points, and it's going to take you a little bit to get it ready and to record it. So it's very important that you start right away. So this week you're going to be doing that. I'll go over both of those assignments here in just a minute, but something to help you is we are going to have a Zoom session this Thursday at 10 a.m. And I will be going over both the individual presentation assignment in detail. I'll be giving you a sample of it, etc. I'll also be going over your first discussion post on the do's and don'ts of effective and ineffective presentations. So both of those assignments will be covered in this Zoom session on Thursday. It is not mandatory, so if you can't make it due to work or other classes, no problem. I'll record it. I'll make it available to you via email. If you can make it, though, it's very valuable that we have the ability to meet together in Zoom because it gives us a chance to dialogue, ask questions, of course, and then to explain it to you. So I'd love you to join me if you can. That's going to be this Thursday at 10 a.m., and you'll be getting an email about that the day before. But the assignments that you're going to be working on this week is first a check-in assignment. Now, you did a mandatory check-in assignment last week, and that was just introducing yourself. This is where this week we actually get into what the check-in assignment is all about. And what it's all about really is getting you into the textbook. It's directing you to important topics and content of the textbook. And so I ask you some questions that you need to open your textbook, you need to read, you need to find the answers, and then you need to answer them. And so when you answer them, make sure you answer them in your own words. Make sure you also include not only the question when you give your answer, but also the page number where you found your answer in the textbook. And this is very important because some students try and answer these questions via, artificial intelligence, etc. I want you to actually read the book. I want you to actually find the answer. I want actually you to give it to me in your own words and tell me where you found it. And when you give me the page number, I know what that page number is. I know that you found it. So anyway, that's the check-in assignment. That's worth 10 points. You also have a quiz on the chapter. So read the chapter, do the check-in, do the quiz, and you kind of covered the content section of this week. Then we get into the 2 major assignments. And the first one is a discussion post. Like I said, I'll be doing a Zoom session to go over these in detail, but basically you're going to be creating, kind of just think in your mind of when you saw somebody given a presentation, and then just come up with what do you think makes a good presentation, both how it, how the person presents as well as how they use maybe PowerPoint or some other presentation software. So kind of just make a list, a random list of all the do's and don'ts that you can think of for both of those contexts, and then over the next few weeks, you're going to be looking at what other students have posted, and then you're going to be making your final list on the last week. So you have 4 weeks more, 4 more weeks to do this. And on that last week, you'll be coming up with kind of your final list. So the idea of this assignment isn't that you just go in and do it all at once. It's you go in and you make an initial list, then you go in again and you look at other students' lists, then you go in the last week and you make a final list. And that's how it should be done. If you don't do it that way, you may lose points for not doing it in that fashion. And of course, anything that's incomplete, or if your list just isn't close to what we're going to cover in the Zoom session, we will cover this in the Zoom session. We will go over the do's and don'ts of business presentations and well as do's and don'ts, yeah, of that, as well as the individual assignment. So if you do the Zoom session, watch the Zoom session, chances are your final list will be perfect. So anyway, and then that leads me then to the individual presentation assignment. This is again where you're going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation, a 5 minute, strictly 5 minute PowerPoint presentation on your 4 most significant life events. So you're going to come up with what those events are. You're going to create PowerPoint slides for each one, and then you're going to record yourself giving a presentation about your 4 significant life events. And you can read about that by clicking that folder, or you can read about your do's and don'ts of business presentations by clicking that folder. Both of these assignments you have multiple weeks to do, but listen, do not wait to get started. Start right away so that way you're not cramming at the end and turning in either poor work, incomplete work, or miss it altogether. So get started on those this week, and we'll be covering it on Thursday in the Zoom session. You can click this folder right here to join us at the Zoom session, and I'll be in there. I'll let you in, and then we'll start the session. So, all right, well, have a great week. Hopefully, I'll see many of you there on Thursday. If not, you will all see me again on video next week.